Hello and welcome to episode 4 of For More Sports. I'm your boy, Johnny, and as always, we have Chris with us this evening. We are all about football. We love talking about football, and it's going to be a great show today. I'm looking forward to discussing many points, and I believe there are a few points that we will be discussing today. Yeah, so how have you been, Chris? Because obviously I haven't seen you, so how's it been going since the last time we spoke?
Yeah, good. Life in general is good. Football
Yeah.
has gotten better. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this episode.
Yeah. I mean, when we spoke last, obviously on Sunday, episode 3. So, guys, if you haven't checked that out, make sure you go and check it out. We were talking just before, obviously, Arsenal were playing Leicester, so we weren't sure what that result would be. Arsenal won 2-0 and put more pressure on United and all the other teams that are chasing them for Champions League qualification. But we have had an amazing result. I don't know if you want to talk about the City result and how that impacts on Liverpool's potential winning of the Premier League. So let's talk about that.
Yeah, no pressure.
Did you watch that game?
Firstly, I did. I shouldn't have done. I shouldn't have done. I think it aged me.
Yeah.
When you're a Liverpool fan and it's all about being in a title race, these are the kind of games that you kind of say I shouldn't watch. You watch it, and the worst thing that can happen always does. Someone gets a last minute whatever. I was thinking, it's ready for Sterling to come on last 2 minutes of the game and put them clear again. But for some reason, they had all of the play, nearly all of the possession, and they just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. They hit the post a couple of times. Keeper made some excellent saves. And to be honest, even if we're going to be real, Palace could have got more than just the point. They wouldn't have deserved it, to be fair. They wouldn't have deserved it. They could have got more than the point. But listen, as a Liverpool fan who still believes that we are heavily the underdogs, credit where it's due. It makes the Premiership title race a little bit more exciting.
Well, when you think that the reverse game, Crystal Palace actually won that game, didn't they? When they played,
they did.
So I feel like I feel like Crystal Palace are slightly a bit of a bogey team for Liverpool.
Yeah.
I don't know where I'm going.
Well, listen, they're a bogey team for us as well. They're a bogey team for us as well. Don't worry about
it. Yeah. So you imagine you've got. I remember having got a conversation where we were talking about City being 12 points clear of the table, and most of the pundits, most of the people that know their thing about football pretty much wrote off the league. They said it's City's league. They're playing phenomenally well, and that wasn't even that long ago, really, was it? But now we're looking at a 12-point gap, unassailable. No one can catch them. What do you think has happened? Why City are now staring at actually a real Premier League battle with Liverpool? What do you think happened? I mean, obviously, I know they've just lost, but what do you think's been going on in the squad? Is it Guardiola? Is it the way he plays? What do you think's happened?
To be honest with you, I can only say it as an outsider looking in, but has anything actually really changed? Liverpool always had games in hand, and people will always tell you it's better to have the points on the board than to have the have the games in hand. Okay, definitely. So at the moment, but this evening, they've been able to win those games. But really, what have City done wrong? They lost, I think, very unfortunately, to Spurs. I don't know how they lost that game, but they did. How they then also drew to Palace.
Kane had decided that he was going to have the game of his life.
Yeah, that's it. They were very unfortunate in that game. And then if we're talking about the game on Monday, let's be honest, they dominated that game. They actually dominated. So has anything really gone wrong? Because when you look at their form in the other competitions that they're still in, they're still wiping the floor of everybody else. We're talking European football and they're beating teams 5-0 at their home ground. Yeah. So I don't know if anything has really got to them. And it's just a case of you're unfortunate. We spoke about it last week. Liverpool lost to Inter at home.
Yeah.
Me personally, I think it was unfortunate. But if you're going to lose a game to reset and get your head back in the game. That was the one to lose. So for City, they still have the advantage. They've got the 4 points, and Liverpool have to go to them still. There's a lot of games still to be played, but I know we're going to talk about it later on. Tonight is you want to I want to understate it, but it cannot be understated.
I know. I mean, it's funny. Obviously, we're filming this on the 16th of March. We are going to get to it, but obviously, there's a big game today. Arsenal are playing Liverpool, and both teams need the win, but for very, very different reasons. Obviously, Liverpool win that game. If Liverpool win at the Emirates today, they will be within 1 point of City. That'll be 1 point. Now that to me is it's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, if let's just go all to the end of the season now. Let's just say Liverpool actually win the league. City fans will be looking at that and thinking, how did we let that happen? We were playing good football. All the teams were, all the teams we played, we beat. How is it that Liverpool have clawed back all those points, and we're now looking at, and actually, and it's one of those games. This is the only game of the season where I actually genuinely, I'm like, I feel torn. I want Arsenal to win, obviously, but I understand that if Arsenal do win, it knocks Liverpool back, and it can, advantage City again.
100%.
But if Liverpool win, then it will give a sniff to teams like City. Teams like United, West Ham, the Tottenhams, even Wolves. All of those teams.
I think Wolves are out of it. Spurs maybe, but I get where you're coming from. But I think you've got more margin for error than Liverpool. Arsenal, more margin for error.
I think having games in hand is good, and as you said earlier, it's always better to have the points than to have the games in hand. And I do imagine that at some point, Arsenal are going to end up with like 3 games in a week glut where we've got to play catch up. The only good thing is, and I've been saying it all season, at the very beginning of the season, I said to many of my friends that Arsenal have a really good opportunity here, because we're not really playing anywhere near the level of games that other teams are playing. We played a tired Leicester. I mean, Leicester played well, but they were tired. They played in the Europa League only a few days earlier, whilst we were chilling. We may have played a few. We might have played in a reserve game, but generally we were much stronger, much healthier, much more ready for the game, and we knew what's at stake. Maybe not so much now, but obviously Liverpool played at the same sort of time as we did, so there's no advantage there. But generally, any team that we play that are still in the Champions League or in the Europa League would have played a game more in the week and then need to be at top form. So really there should be no reason why Arsenal isn't up in the top 4, challenging, for a Champions League spot. And the thing is, now we're looking at a very, very strong Arsenal side and a very, very strong a strong Arsenal side and a very strong Liverpool side playing each other. Now, I'm going to put some facts on the screen to give you an idea of what I mean. Let me put that on.
And while you're doing that, I mean, I think it's really interesting, because this is one of those occasions where Arsenal will almost be behaving as a team that's in Europe, because you played on the weekend and you're playing midweek because of the games you have to catch up on. So it will be interesting to see how that turnover, if at all, affects the squad.
Definitely. I mean, I don't know if you can see there, but on the screen we've got there's some facts for Arsenal and for Liverpool. I'll go through the facts of Arsenal first. So Arsenal are looking to win 6 consecutive Premier League games for the first time since a run of 7, which was under Unai Emery in 2018. That's a really good statistic that we've. But obviously, the type of players we have been playing the lower division, lower teams in the division. So it's not like we've been playing, the 10. We have been playing more of the bottom feeders. That sounds bad, but we have been playing some of the lower division teams. But if you want to get anywhere, you need to win those games, and we have done.
Of course you do. Of course you do. Listen, 15 points is 15 points.
Exactly.
And you know, five wins. Yeah.
Playing a team like Burnley is never going to be easy, especially when you're tapping on relegation battle teams who are quite wary. You know, they need to get those points as well.
Yes.
So Arteta's side are looking for a 4th consecutive home victory in the league. Now that's quite good. It says that there's a little bit of there's continuity. There's the guys are now in love with the game. They're in love with winning. They don't want to lose. They play for the shirt. They're doing really, really well. And actually, it's nice to actually say, it's been a long time since I've been able to say it. Actually, I'm really excited about this game. I'm nervous, but I'm actually quite excited because I think actually we played really well against City and only lost very, very, near the end of the game. It was a very, unfortunate. Who knows in this game? The other statistics are that only Liverpool have won more points than Arsenal in the last 6 matches. Now that's a great deal. You've got arguably, the most informed team in the league playing the next most informed team.
Yeah.
So it's going to be I actually think it's going to be a really, really good game. So Arsenal are unbeaten in all 8 of their midweek Premier League home. So we've won 5, we've drawn 3. But I do think that a lot of those midweek games, we've been very fortunate that we haven't played with the bigger squads, but also the way in which our fixtures have been, it hasn't been too bad for us. We're playing we are literally playing 1 game a week because we're not in the FA Cup, or we're not in the League Cup. Those competitions are out of our reach, and so the only game we play is the league. So we're fresh, and I feel like we should be winning those games. We should not be being beaten by a team that played only 3 days earlier. Or 4 days.
That's fair. That's fair.
And the last one, Lacazette. Now imagine this: Andre Lacazette has been involved in 10 goals in 11 Premier League appearances, setting up 7. Now he's leading from the front. Obviously, his partner in crime, Aubameyang, has moved on now to Barcelona, and he stepped up. I don't even know what word I can use for Lacazette. He has really just shown the type of leadership.
That's it. You've hit the nail on the head. It's the leadership. He is now the senior statesman, and he wears the armband that goes with it. I think with some people that weight is too much for them. For others, they thrive on it, and he's thriving on it. You've just said that he's been involved in 10 goals in 11, and some people would look at that and they'd be surprised because they're thinking, well, he's not scoring from the front. To me, do you know who he reminds me of, or what the role he's taken over is so much like Firmino for Liverpool. When a lot of the other guys were doing all the running around, but he just was that link guy. You don't see him, but he just does so much for the team. And there you go, the stats, they back it up.
Yeah, exactly. So, from that point of view, that's the reason why I'm one of these people. I hate I want to be excited, and I've spoken to quite a few Arsenal fans over the last couple of days, and we are excited about that game. There have been games where we just go in with woe is us, we're not going to get resolved, we're not going to do anything. I actually think this is a team that's not afraid. They're young, they're hungry, and actually they know what's at stake, and it's going to be a big game. I almost feel like if we did lose that game, all of those players will be on their back, on the ground, because they will have given everything. I feel that this is one of those games where they will give everything, even if it's everything just to get a draw, they will give everything.
Listen, you've got to look at it from the point of view that how many teams go to the Emirates and play them off the park and dominate them and win? That doesn't happen, right?
Unless we play Liverpool.
Listen, I don't remember the last time we dominated you at Emirates, but that's beside the point. Look, for me, I actually think this is the one where, as a Liverpool fan, I'm not looking forward to it. I'm at my most nervous. I'm not confident. I still believe we'll get a result of some kind, because in all honesty, it's a must not lose. We don't have to win,
Yeah.
because we still would have to go to win at the Etihad anyway, and we're maybe getting ahead of ourselves, but we have to not lose. We must not lose tonight.
Yeah.
Because if you lose tonight, it makes it more difficult. It's back in kind of City's hands. You could draw tonight and still go and win at the Etihad. Yeah. And I think Arsenal were on a good run of form when they came to Anfield. And at the time, we didn't speak about the game, but I spoke to other Arsenal fans, and they were like saying to me, this is going to be the marker. This is going to be the parameter of our success. And we were fortunate to get 3-0. I think it was 3-0.
Yeah, oh, man, you killed us.
I think, no, but we were fortunate.
Yeah.
The place was very quiet. The fans were very anxious. And then Mikel Arteta and Klopp got into it. And that just seemed to fire up Anfield. So
I remember,
we got away. You remember that?
They actually said that his antics probably the 12th man. And because of that, we, once confidence is gone, or once there's a little bit of apprehension, it feeds through.
Yeah. And then the same thing with the Carabao Cup games.
Yeah.
What happened in the first leg, Xhaka gets sent off. We can't break it down. We can't break it down. I was getting memes and screenshots of Ben White laughing in Minamino's face because he fired one over the. And again, it was like, well, if they couldn't do it against 10 men, they're not going to come to the Emirates and do us, right? And but you had injuries, and there's also. But this one today, to be honest, there are no excuses from anybody. That's the thing that, as a Liverpool fan, makes me nervous.
Yeah,
I know my team.
Let me go through the Liverpool stats. I mean,
say again.
So let me go through the Liverpool stats. So Liverpool have won 8 Premier League games in a row for the first time since the run of 18 ended in February 2020.
There you go.
They have scored 21 goals and have only conceded twice. Think about that. They've scored 21 goals, and they have only that to me is fortress. That's a defense. That is, we are protecting this team, and we are the rear guard. We are going to protect our goalkeeper, and they've only conceded 2 goals. And I'm certain maybe one of those was a penalty. I'm not sure. I can't remember. But basically, in open play, Liverpool are extremely stingy when it comes to letting away from goals. Now, it says that Liverpool have kept 3 successive clean sheets for the first time this season. So that to me says that to me is the confidence is there and the growth is there. It's one thing to win; it's another thing to shut the door. You're playing with Premier League teams who have put a lot of effort into their strikers scoring goals, and when you can shut them out, that says a great deal about your defense. It also shows how well you are playing. Now they have scored 34 Premier League goals away from home. Don't get me wrong. It's one thing to score for fun in front of your home crowd, but to score 34 goals away from home, that's more than any other side in the top flight. There is no comparison. And we talked about, at the beginning of the show, we talked about what happened to City. Why have City, why have City surrendered a 12-point lead of the title? Well, that to me tells you why Liverpool are winning away from home, and they're scoring lots of goals when they do it. And to have those kind of statistics are pretty scary. And the last one, Mohamed Salah has scored 20 Premier League goals in a season for the 4th time in his career. So he's reminding me of. I know we've talked about Lampard before, where I said that Lampard was the antitypical midfielder, ghosted into the midfield and would score. And he scored 25 plus goals, I think, for several years. Well, Salah is now setting himself up that he is always going to have double figures. He scores a lot of goals. The one thing, and I'm glad that it's left. What's interesting is I'm glad that report has ended with Mohamed Salah scoring those goals, because news is coming out that he may not even be playing today. You heard about that?
There was. He did get subbed at the weekend, but then in Klopp's press conference,
Yeah.
he's fit. He's fit to play.
See, I'm being one of those players that go, he's fit to play, but is he top standard? Like, would you have a 75% Salah and would you be happy to have him on the bench rather than having someone else? Would you at what percentage would you chance him being on the field? Because he obviously has got an eagle. It says that
do you want me to be brutally honest when it comes to that? And it's not a case of I don't respect him or I don't rate what he's doing, and the stats speak for themselves. But if Salah's not fit, no disrespect, why he doesn't need to be on the pitch. This is my thing. 75% he sits on the bench. And people might say, well, why? He went to the African Cup of Nations as well as Mane. Liverpool didn't drop any points. We didn't drop any points and we progressed in the cups. I'm not saying it's the same, but you're now telling it's a one-off game. It's a one-off game. If he's on the bench, great. But you don't need to risk him because the team knows what it's doing. We played you at the Emirates. In fact, we played each other twice while they were away. So it's not as if we don't also know how to play.
What's funny, Chris, I actually said then if there was ever going to be a chance, that we are going to beat Liverpool, it's because your two main guys, Salah and Mane, are away at the African Cup of Nations, and I thought this is it. Now at Anfield we played really well, and
you did.
But Jota played better, and it's funny. I always think that we've talked about Liverpool's business before, and I remember, and even on Sunday when Nana was saying that you did good business for your deals. I mean, Diaz is looking like the real deal, and probably putting a bit of pressure on Mane now to step up. But even so, he's still, he is. I almost feel like he's like a talisman for you. If he plays, he's always, there's always going to be a chance that he is going to be running down that right wing. He's going to cut in on the left, and he's going to score an amazing goal. And I hope I haven't just said what he's going to do. There's a very, very good chance that he could do that, because that's his MO, isn't it? He loves to get the ball on the right. He cuts inside. Defenders don't know how to deal with him. If they foul him, they end up getting sent off. And I did think that's the one thing that if Arsenal have all men on the pitch, I think that we've got a chance. But you guys know the arts, and you know who to pick on, and we don't, and we fall into it because we're still young. I mean, obviously, Arsenal club is the youngest in the Premier League, and it's the youngest by.
I don't know if I agree with you on that one. At the end of the day, like, listen, we're probably more experienced, but I wouldn't say that when we play. Certainly not when we play Arsenal that we resort to, I don't know, for want of a better, No,
when I mean as in your guys know how to play the game. I mean, Mane is honestly, there's one.
He's a naughty boy. He's a naughty boy.
Mane makes my blood boil. I respect him as a player. I love how he plays, but the man drives me insane with his antics. He's very good at throwing his leg in front of a tackle that when it wasn't a tackle, to gain percentage, to gain yardage, to gain a free kick here, there, and everywhere. Unfortunately, sometimes that will be a penalty, and sometimes that will end up being a red card. Now, Arsenal's disciplinary record is disgraceful. And what I want, I'm genuinely saying this, what I really, really want is to actually see that we end the game with all of our players. Because then I know that it's going to, I know that one of our players gets sent off, we're going to fold. I just feel like, we get a player sent off, there's a very good chance that Arsenal are going to fold.
At the Emirates? At the Emirates. Are you sure?
We have had such bad, when it comes to our disciplinary record, it hasn't been great. We've had quite a lot of
and I get that, but because you play sometimes with 10 men. Look, Liverpool played against 10 men 3 times this season, and they've come out with draws every single time. We've never beaten anybody, right?
Yeah.
If for me, I want 11 players to play on, to stay on the pitch.
Of course I do. I want that.
An Arsenal perspective, because I think you then won't sit back. You're at home. You're going to play most likely the likes of Odegaard and Martinelli and Saka. I want you guys to come and attack, because
I would love that.
Ideally we soak it up. We soak it up. We try to put Thiago on the ball if he's playing. That kind of. I want a good game of football. I don't like watching teams who resort to Atletico Madrid tactics. I don't like that.
No,
parking the bus and all that kind of stuff. I find it boring.
So obviously, I know I had the injury. I got this information on the BBC website where they were basically highlighting that Salah was injured in the game at the weekend. He isn't 100%. Obviously, Klopp wants him to play because he knows how valuable he is to the club and to the team. And as I said, it's one of those games where it's arguably two most informed clubs at the moment in the Premier League, doing really, really well.
Yeah.
But I've been here before. I've been with Arsenal before, where we've had an informed, very, very good team, and we've played you, and you basically soak up the first 10 minutes and you score a goal. And we get sucked into playing. We think, we'll just run at you and do this. And I would imagine that Klopp in his team talk is saying to his guys, soak it up. Just soak up. They're going to come at you. They're going to. Their fans are going to be are expecting them to attack. Just patient. Hit them on the break. Score. Break their will. Hit them again before the second half. And in the second half, just play keep ball. And that has been what I've seen Chelsea do to Arsenal. That's what I've seen City do. I've seen even Tottenham have done it. And I remember there was a famous Sky, I think was it who was it who actually said, I can tell you what Tottenham are going to do. Kane's going to get the ball, he's going to pass the Son's going to run, he's going to pass the ball, he's going to score, and he did exactly that. So what do you think? Obviously we've talked about both teams. Who do you think are going to be the most important players for both teams in the game today? How do you think who do you think will be the pivotal players that are going to really need to play their very best to get a result?
Honestly, for Arsenal, outside of looking in, I think there's three of them. The obvious ones, I think Martinelli. I think I love the guy, like absolute, graceful footballer. I think he's going all the way to the top. And the guy on the other side, Saka. I think if they play well and they get at our fullbacks or they try to flood the midfield, it makes the game interesting. I think the other person who has to play well is Ben White for me.
Yeah.
Every time I see him, I think as a unit, him and Gabriel are good. I'm just not sure about him on his own. And I know Gabriel, will play with him today as well, so it's not really an issue. But I don't know enough about the guy.
Right.
He was bought for big money. When I see him, he seems to be pretty decent.
Do you not think that his results so far and the fact that Arsenal have played so well shows that it was good money well spent? And that
listen, I think for a long-term investment, he's only going to get better. I can only go with what I've seen, and I'm not saying he's terrible. But if anyone in the back line is going to make an error, it's him, because he tends to bring the ball. He tends to bring the ball out. I know when we played you at Anfield, even though we didn't win. No, in fact, no, it was the league game. When we won, we allowed. If I say we allowed, we didn't press him. We allowed him to bring the ball into the middle third of the pitch. The moment he did that, there was at least 3 times we robbed him of the ball.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, they started to give it to other players. I remember, was it Tavares? He was playing the ball out, and then he got robbed as well. Because eventually, Ben White, they stopped doing it. They realized he keeps on getting caught out.
Yeah.
So they then said, no, somebody else bring the ball out. And then he then got, so it was just a bit. So he has to play well.
We were trying to keep possession of the ball,
This is it. This is
by walk, but obviously you guys hunt in packs. You're like wolves.
yes.
And once that element of you've got the ball in technically a vulnerable position. So you know, you've got the ball up, but you're vulnerable and you're on your own. And once we get the ball off you're not going to get a foul because we've got the ball.
No.
And then we're going to go. So I'm obviously the other option to that is going to be the long ball, and the long ball brings in Van Dijk because then you've either got to be out sprint him, which is rare, or you've got to be taller than him and get the ball, which is even rarer. So you know, I know that obviously Martinelli is probably on par with him for pace because Martinelli's a very, very quick. But that's a cross the field ball for the direct, you know, A1 just route over the defenses. I think Van Dijk's cleaned that up. So you've highlighted.
I think you don't go towards the middle. No. You guys, your game plan in the Carabao Cup second semi at Emirates, I thought was spot on. But we adapted to it early. You tried to go over Trent. You went over Trent several times. You said, "We'll hit Martinelli behind Trent," and you kept trying to do it the first 10 minutes. And I was like, they're onto something here. If they get this right, Trent's in big trouble. But I think they spotted it and they tweaked it. So Jones went and played over there to go and help him
out the door, and it cancelled out Martinelli's ability to run at him. So you said so the people you mentioned was Martinelli, Saka, and you said, and who was the other person you said?
Ben White.
And Ben White. Okay. Do you not think our goalkeeper will need a great game?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. I think
he's slightly busy.
No, I don't. You know, aspire. I don't. Agree with that. I think. Look, we may have scored X amount of goals and scored the most away goals in the Premiership thus far and whatever else. I still don't think we're clinical. I still don't think that in certain games we create enough chances. If a team chooses to sit back and stay disciplined, banks of four, people who are prepared to break the lines every so often and have pace and counterattack, we don't really play well against that. We will have great possession stats, but it's because we're trying to waiting for an opportunity. I just think when we actually make chances, we're not as clinical as the numbers might suggest. So I don't know if Ramsdale would need to do any more than he does already. He's a very good goalkeeper. Do you understand? And he performs well. Will he have to do anything additional? I guess only time will tell. But for me, I don't think he needs to do anything additional. I just think let's see if Liverpool are clinical.
So obviously you've spoken about the Arsenal players. Who would you say are the Liverpool players that will need to be on their top game to get a result today?
Again, so I'm going with the having to be clinical. I think with the defense, what you see is what you get. You're going to get chances. Alisson will probably have to make a couple of big saves, right? Which happens every game because we play such a high line, all the rest of it. You've got players who have the pace, they've got ability, and they believe in themselves. They'll have a go. So he will probably be one of those people who has to be spot on. The defenders, they do what they do. I actually think it's the likes of Mane and Thiago. If Thiago plays, I hope that he's allowed or able to dictate the play, because is it Odegaard or Odegaard or your Odegaard? Odegaard. He has to be kept quiet. But I think Fabinho will do that. And what he does for you, perhaps Thiago is he's a playmaker of sorts. He's not the same.
Ability is amazing, second to none.
Yeah, and he needs to. I think he needs to be given license to be on the ball. But is he going to be protected enough, or will Xhaka be snapping at his heels? I think that's a battle that whoever comes out on top of that, they set their team up to win the game, or certainly control the game. That battle there, because I don't know if Thiago is even going to play, but
I don't know. I mean, it's a bit early. I don't know if they.
Yeah, you've got about another 40 minutes before the teams are
I'm just
announced.
seeing
But
I'm just going to see if there has been an announcement. I don't think there has been yet.
no worries. How Xhaka's deals with, let's say, the playmaker for Liverpool, be it Thiago, and how Fabinho deals with the playmaker for Arsenal, Odegaard, is critical to this game.
Right.
I think it's critical.
Okay, so before we move on to the next game, what's your score? What do you think the score will be?
I think both teams score. And obviously, for me, I'm a Liverpool fan. I'm going to look at what my eyes tell me. We've not lost in the last 8. In fact, no, we've won the last 8. And it's been with various degrees of difficulty. I think we probably shaded 2-1.
Okay. I hope that I think I'm going to get shot down by any Arsenal fan that's going to ever watch this show. As much as I love my team and as much as I think that we play really, really good football, I do believe that this will be the last season that the big boys school us, because I think we're still learning. And I think even Arteta, as a young manager, is still learning the tactics that you have to play in the game. Klopp will change his formations many times in the game. One of the issues with Arteta is that he may not be so rigid. He's a little bit more rigid. He's not as brave as, say, Klopp to do those kind of things. So I still think that Liverpool will win, and I actually think that they probably will score a few goals in this game. And that's not because
no. You're not giving your boys enough credit.
And it's not, no, you have to understand something. It's not that I don't give them credit. I love my team. What it is that I think that we are still one. I still think that the team that we're in right now, we're still kids. We're still the new kids on the block. We are still learning, and we still. How many schoolboy? When you watch Arsenal lose a game, the first thing you'll hear someone like Roy Keane or Ferdinand will say is, it's because they're green. It's because they're doing it for the first time. You know, when we get a player, it's because we didn't realize they were trying to get him sent off. You know, they've used the arts and worked it on us, and we haven't been able to see what's been going on. And that's partly because we are still young. But I think this will be the last season it happens. I genuinely think that next season we will be a much, much, much more maturer and actually much more cohesive team. And I think Liverpool are much more clinical than us. They are years in front of us clinical. They have proved it. They've won the Champions League. They've won the Premier League. They have won the League Cup. They are a team of winners. They are a team that they don't care about, they will grind out a result. How many times did Origi score in the 98th minute of a game to get a result? That's the mark of champions. That's the mark of quality. Liverpool are there. I think if Arsenal's team stay together, we will be that team in years to come. I believe. I think right now we're challenging for a Champions League spot. I think in a few years' time we'll be challenging for the league. I think that we will be. I think that all the teams that are above us are not only old enough, but they've got to they're going to have to rebuild their squad. 100%. All the teams that are above us are going to, over the next few years, rebuild. Arteta's already done it, and he's kicked.
But don't you think that football? Because I've heard this a lot. But I've heard that quite a bit, and mainly from Arsenal fans, because you have the youngest. Because you have the youngest team.
I think that what Arteta's done is he's made it very clear that this is my team. You know, I want to make this team competitive, which he's done. I want to make this team, but I need to also bend it to my will. You know, it's not a coincidence that the people he's got rid of have been, in general, the ones that have said, no, I'm bigger than you. You know, I'm a big character. So he's got rid of those characters. He's got rid of them, and whether it's good or not, look where we are.
They've gone. That's it. They've gone.
So the proofs of the pudding. Now, that was a gamble. That could have gone wrong. I mean, he could have been. He could have been at the bottom of the table, struggling to, because he's lost the changing room. Quite the opposite. Those guys love him and they play for him. And when you hear Xhaka saying, I've always said Xhaka is the sort of player, not Saka. Xhaka is the sort of player who, at international level, has always played better than at club level. He's much better at the international level than he has ever been playing for us. But even he has toned down that rash part of his temperament that guarantees he gets sent off. He was the one person that we used to always say, he's going to get sent off. His tackles were rash, and he didn't have to control himself. He's really controlled that now. Maybe that's because of passing. He's got.
I guess I don't disagree with anything that you're saying, but go on. Sorry, go ahead.
Because of all of those things,
and
I've said I think that we're there, but we're not quite there yet. That's why I think that Liverpool could quite easily score a few goals against us, because we have played quite a few games and we've been very fortunate enough that we've not conceded and we've won the games. There's been only a few times I think where we've actually been behind and had to drag out a victory. Against the big four or against any of the bigger teams, when they score first, they usually win. And that has been, unfortunately, that has been our track record. If we score first, we hope we maybe switch off and they end up winning, or generally they score and then we don't, and heads drop. Maybe our our ability not to get sent off. What's the word? Our not integrity. There's a word. We lose our countenance. We lose our ability to focus. We tend to start chasing the ball. And we lose
concentration.
Concentration. Yeah, and we lose that, and then obviously Arsenal fans, we're unforgiving. We will moan very quickly when we see nonsense going on the field because we want more. For us, the oldie ones that remember when we went unbeaten for a whole season and when we had a great team, we're living on.
Not this again. What's going on? Listen, I'm a Liverpool fan. I know about past. We're not doing that.
But what I'm saying is that you went through your years of hurt.
This is it.
Now you are now looking, saying, "Yeah, we've done it." I'm hoping that Arteta is that guy. I'm hoping that he is that guy, and actually finally take us out of the shadow of Arsene Wenger. I mean, I don't think it's very, very difficult to do that.
Let me play because obviously this is what we hear. This is what we do, innit? Me and you.
Yeah,
I'm going to say Liverpool, Brendan Rodgers, very close to the title. Next year, we're going to do something. We came seventh. At the end of the day, football doesn't stand still.
No.
Saka has not signed a new contract, as an example.
That's right.
No job. There might be another job.
We always lost him to Roma, didn't we? Oh, did you say Xhaka or Saka?
Saka.
Saka. I think obviously he will sign. I mean,
but Liverpool would say the same. Liverpool fans would say the same things about Mo Salah. He ain't signed it.
No.
At the end of the day,
no. Sorry, Chris, I have to stop you there.
Listen.
Mo Salah is a German man. He has played for Chelsea. He's played in Italy. Saka, he's one of our own. He's homegrown.
Okay, he's one of your own. I don't disagree with that.
And he actually loves our club.
I don't disagree with that. I do not disagree with that. Harry Kane, Tottenham fans sing Harry Kane is one of our own. The man went on strike, right? Because he hasn't won anything. He has not won anything. At the end of the day, you feel that you're on the cusp of you know what, we're going to challenge, right? But let's be honest.
Not now. I'm not saying we're going to challenge
next season.
I don't even know if it'll be next season. I think that still think Liverpool. I think the likes of Liverpool and City have spent the money and have the team strong enough to be that. I'm saying that, but we're before with a team with the team we have right now, we are. I mean, I don't want to say it, but I feel like we are overachieving with the team we have because we have.
And maybe you are, but that's the point. So you have to believe. You have to believe in what in your team. I totally get that because when the opportunity comes, you got to grasp it. right?
Yeah.
You've got to grasp it. I have no arguments with that.
I'm not
But
going to
I look at, sorry?
I'm not going to look at my team through rosy-colored glasses. I'm a realist.
No. And this is why
I'm saying, I don't get me wrong. Trust me, if we win, I will be the happiest guy in the world. I'll be very happy. But I am a realist. I have been here before. When we played you in the league the first time, I thought we were going to win that game. I thought we played really well.
Of course. Listen, that's all I heard.
When we in the League Cup, I felt we were going to win. We didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, that second leg, I genuinely thought we're going to do this. I thought we are going to do this, and we didn't. Now I'm saying I don't want to go into this game and say, oh, you know what, we're going to win the game, and we get 4 goals smacked past us. Personally speaking, Mane loves to score against Arsenal, and he loves to play against us, and he loves to get our guys booked or sent off. So
stop that.
I am looking.
Stop
you know
it.
what? When you and I have this conversation on Sunday, right? Because when we talk again and we do our next episode, we are going to replay this section. And
replay it, and you're going to be apologizing.
So right, listen to this, because obviously I know we spent a lot of time talking about Arsenal versus Liverpool, but there is actually another game being played.
No one cares about that. Well, no, some people do.
Let me just bring to your attention that Brighton
to play Tottenham.
They're at the lower end. They're at the lower end of the table. But Tottenham are in the win, lose, and it's been going on for some time now. This yo-yo. This is the game that they can use to bounce back. They're playing obviously in an hour, so they're playing at 7:30. Yeah, and Kane wants to score goals, but look at these statistics, right? Because I thought this is quite interesting. Where is it? Brighton. So we'll tackle Tottenham first. We'll go to Brighton. Tottenham have won 4 of their last 7 Premier League away games, right? Losing the
not bad.
So their away form hasn't. This is the problem with Tottenham, obviously, because their away form is their form in general is so baffling that they win a game, they lose a game, they win. It's like a heartbeat, and I don't understand. I'm trying to work out how they are so inconsistent but consistent in winning, losing, and because obviously they lost against United last game out. The form says that they're going to win this game. Spurs,
I'd agree.
Now, what's interesting is this is obviously Brighton have slipped way down the table, and if we look at their where they are in the table at the moment, they are in 13th place. They've got 33 points. We are going to have to do a show, I think, on the bottom part of the table.
100%.
I think we focus on the top, but I think what we should do is we should talk about, what's going on at the moment with Norwich, Burnley, Watford, Everton, Leeds, Brentford, all the way up to Brighton. Any one of those teams can be caught by Leeds. Any one of those teams could be caught. I mean, it's quite an interesting separation if you look on the table that you've got. Obviously, you've got the top 4 at the moment, but then you look at the bottom of that table. They're all on 29, other than Burnley, and if Burnley win their 2 games, they come out of the relegation battle. Obviously, Brighton are struggling, but so is Tottenham.
I don't know. Tottenham were a bit of a funny one though, because they went out of they went out of the cup the other day to Middlesbrough, I think it was. But bar that, they were playing midweek and so on and so forth, right? It's because they've had to play catch up, so they're playing a little bit more regular than the teams they're playing against. This is the part that I don't understand why people can't see that. They are playing with a lot of regularity. Right, they play Saturday night. They're playing on Wednesday, right? Their squad isn't as big as people think, but I don't know. They lose, and people are like, "Oh, well, that's typical Spurs. They're Spursy, innit?" And blah blah blah. But they're having to do catch up because they missed a lot of games. And he hasn't got a massive squad. In fact, he got rid of more players than he brought in January, so he's having to use the same players. So of course you're going to win, lose. To me, I just thought that was kind of normal.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Tottenham have there was a period of time where Tottenham were. I mean, at the beginning of the season, they were playing well. I mean, don't get me wrong. At the beginning of the
Yeah,
season,
true.
People were touting them for, is this the season? Even without Kane.
For what?
Kane was sulking, so he wasn't playing well.
Yeah.
And then obviously he's now decided, I'm going to play for the club, and I'm playing. I don't know. I do still think that this may well be his last season. If in fact, that's a quick question. I'm not quite sure when his contract renewal is up.
No, he signed a new one. Signed a new one last year. I think it was like 6 years.
But then this is what I mean. I find it interesting that he signed a new contract and then expected that he had signed, had a gentleman's agreement that if a big team came from him, he'd go. I mean, if you sign on
because they didn't make Champions League, right?
No.
And then also, dependent on what your last contract was like, Harry Kane was on the he was on the crest of a wave. You're talking one of the top scorers in the Premiership, England's marksman. He probably went in there and said, right, I want to include image rights. I want this, I want that. So it wasn't about the wages per se. It probably was about all the incentives that you're going to add, and that kind of stuff. And then
and so obviously Tottenham are playing. It's a really strange game because I feel like Brighton need a game to get themselves back on the horse, as it were.
They ain't beating Spurs, bro. I
can't see it. And actually, Spurs winning puts the table. If we look at the table very quickly, a Spurs win will put them on 48 points, which is on par with West Ham.
Yeah,
and they will have a game. They have 2 games in hand to both of the only sort of ace in the pack, as it were, is us, because is the Arsenal team, because Arsenal have only played 26 games. And
but then you've got to play each other. You've got to play each other.
We've still got to play Tottenham, which is going to be enormous. It's going to be that's going to be.
But listen, I think with all of these ifs, buts, and babies, we're all still getting a bit ahead of ourselves, because look, did we think that Palace were going to get a point off a City? No, we didn't.
Definitely not.
Right? There's a lot of games that have thrown up. They've thrown. I watched. No, I didn't watch it, but the way Newcastle played against Chelsea this weekend, who would have thought that? Chelsea scored in stoppage time. Right? That would have been Newcastle getting a point. Right?
Yeah.
So to me, the Premiership, in terms of trying to predict, that's in the bin as far as I'm concerned. I'm saying Tottenham beat Brighton tonight, and watch any money Brighton then beat them 2-0. So you just, with the Premiership, you can't guess until each game has been played. So to me, a lot of people haven't realised that our next game in the league is against City after tonight. But
Liverpool?
It still feels far away for a lot of people. But it's like, that's why it's so critical that tonight Liverpool don't lose.
Let me check. I think who's your running? So you've got
our running is awful. You should look at Everton's running. You should look at Everton's running to make us all laugh, to be honest.
Oh really? I mean, the thing is, I can see you've got obviously playing us today. Then on Sunday you've got Nottingham Forest away.
Yeah.
You've got Watford.
Watford before the Man City game. Yeah.
Obviously there must be an international break.
International break. Yeah, there's international break.
And then you've got obviously the beginning of April. You've got Watford. Then the big one, which is
they're all big, dude. Every single one of them is massive. I want to beat Nottingham Forest. I want to beat Nottingham Forest. I want to go to Wembley.
I don't know if you can see with my cursor. It's you play City away, then you play Villa away, then you play United at home.
United
in the Merseyside derby, then you play Newcastle, then you play Tottenham.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. People look at the points and they're not actually looking at the fixture list. If you look at City's fixture list, their one is far more. It's far more.
Is it easier?
I don't know. I wouldn't. Easier is not the right word, but I think it's more manageable than Liverpool's. I think it's more manageable.
Their fixtures are. So they're playing on Sunday against Southampton in the quarterfinal. Oh no, they've got quarterfinals of the FA Cup. Southampton. They've got Burnley away. Then they play you Wolves. Brighton, Watford, Leeds. They don't play any top 4 after you.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
They're done. But at the same time,
that to me.
At the same time, hold on. At the same time, Liverpool need to be on their toes.
Yeah.
Right. This happened 19, was it 18, 19? Yeah, 18, 19. We chased them until the final day.
Yeah.
We chased them down until the final day because we knew we couldn't let any performances dip.
Yeah.
If we had their fixture list, I'd say that they would be the favourites because Liverpool take their foot off the gas, give away stupid chances in those games. Every single game that we have, we got to be up for. And truth be told, in the last couple of years, Everton at home, we've beaten. Man United at home, we've beaten. Newcastle away, we've beaten. Villa home and away, we've beaten. Those are teams we can beat. They're teams we can beat. But this is where the pressure starts to kick in. Do I think we win the league? I told you from the beginning, I don't think we will, right? But
even with you still think advantage is for City?
I don't think we're going to go to the Etihad and win. No, I don't think we go to we have to go to the Etihad and win.
Yeah.
I don't think we are going to do that. So that then makes the whole thing irrelevant. It's more how many points do City drop in their running as opposed to what we do. Yeah. I'm looking at, most people will say deal with yours and then the rest of it takes care of itself. No, they need to drop points.
You think that
and I don't see where they're going to do that.
Do you think the Champions League then will have something to play with this? Because obviously you're both in that competition. You're still playing more games than anybody else. Do you think that's going to make them, do you think that fixture list is going to impact on who will win the Premier League, depending on how far?
It could do. It could do, and the only way it changes, and this is where it gets wild. We get drawn against each other.
I think. Do you know what? I thought that. I actually said at some stage, one of either you or Chelsea are going to end up head to head playing each other. And do you know what I think will be amazing, and it will be just typical that you get City and you play Champions League, the league game
and league. Yeah, that's it. And then you still got, hopefully if we both go through in the FA Cup as well, you've still got that a possibility as well. So you can go from just having to play them once to playing them 4 times.
Oh wow.
Right? Oh, but then you've got the same issue with Chelsea.
Yeah.
You got the same issue with Chelsea from a Liverpool perspective. We've played them 3 times this season. They've all been boring as heck, right? And you could still play them again 3 times.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
So for me, best case scenario, Manchester City get Chelsea, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich. That's best case scenario. But as a Liverpool fan and being biased, I wish that a City fan could be saying the same thing on their channels, right? Yeah. And they're saying, I hope Liverpool get Bayern, Chelsea, or whoever it is, Real Madrid. And so you got to take one game at a time. I don't look past tonight because in a couple of hours time, I could just be, upset. Like I could just be upset.
No. Well, and
it is what it is.
I would love for us to win, but I'm a realist, and I think that we still have got a lot to learn. But do you know what? It's going to be an absolutely great game. I'm looking forward to it. I know that my wife will not be happy because she knows that if we win, then I'll be making noise and waking up the babies, and if we lose, I'll be crying.
Yeah, but then you'll have to put them back to bed, so she'll be all right. You'll make her a cup of tea as well, so it's all right. I thought you was also going to talk about a certain team that is in the mud right now. They went and bought their legend back at the beginning of the season. They gave him the number 7 shirt again, and Atletico Madrid came and did what they usually do.
The funny thing is, right? The reason why I didn't talk about United was because I felt that the Arsenal Liverpool game was
it's massive. It is massive.
And don't get me wrong, I think it's interesting that we were singing United's praises at the way in which they took Tottenham apart at the weekend. And we're talking about obviously Ronaldo.
Wait. Did you say we? Slow down there, buddy. I said Tottenham played well. Slow down.
Royal. And the fact that Ronaldo breaks the record for the most goals scored, by an outfield player. And we were singing the praises and saying it's amazing and well done. And then they play Atletico Madrid, who again
they annoy me so much.
They did to Liverpool. They have a very
Whoa. No. That was 2020. We played them twice this year. We beat them both times. Slow down there, buddy.
I was thinking of that Morata.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago.
Yeah. What I mean
Listen, I'm being salty. I'm just being salty. I'm being salty.
In that, if you were when that game started, I thought United were going to win. I thought it was going to be tight, but I thought that United would do enough to win. But Atletico Madrid had a different idea. They just seemed to be one of those really difficult teams to break down, and Liverpool found that. United found that on the night.
Whoa, sorry.
and the thing is, I actually think that's not necessarily a bad thing for United. I wanted United to stay in the tournament because they would then focus on the tournament and not focus on the league.
Look at this Arsenal tinted glasses. Look at it.
Now they are going back into the league, all guns blazing to try and catch us. And that to me is, I love it when the top four are, this has been a very, we've been out of Europe. We had nothing. All we had was the league, FA Cup, and the League Cup. We've got a league where we can concentrate on the league, and we haven't done too badly.
Yeah, true.
United now are going to be, because United, obviously, Manchester United are an entity. They're a business. They can't afford not to be in the Champions League. They need the revenue from the Champions League is massive. They need to be in the best tournament. They want to be in the Europa League. They want to be in the Champions League. Arsenal probably will get Champions League, but our squad isn't strong enough, big enough, good enough, I don't think, to do anything in the Champions League. Because then, once again, we would have to buy more players. We'd have to definitely strengthen and improve on the players we've got. That's a big.
Right now. Look, but this is the issue. It's one for me. It's one game at a time.
Yeah,
because it's one game, because you have the games in hand, and at the moment you're ahead of them.
Yeah.
Do you not still have to play United as well?
I don't think. Do you know what? I don't know.
I think you still got you. I don't think you played them both times. So you've got United to play. I think you've got Chelsea to play. You've got Spurs to play, and you're playing us tonight, right? I'm just saying that I don't think United will get top four. To be honest with you, I don't think they will.
Hold on. So we've got. We've got Arsenal. Obviously, we've got Liverpool today. We've got Villa away.
That's tough.
Away.
That's tough.
Southampton away. Then we have Chelsea
and Man United.
No, West Ham. That's a derby.
Oh,
yeah, we actually do have. We don't. Yeah, so it's basically those games. It's the Chelsea,
and you've got Newcastle there away. Newcastle away. Yeah. Listen, the games are not. They're not a joke. Like, they're not.
You know what? I don't know if you noticed, but look at the date of the Chelsea game, and then the Man United game. They're 3 days apart. That's insane. We're playing Chelsea away on the 20th, and on the 23rd, 3 days later, we're playing. So we're playing Thursday, and then maybe Sunday at 12 or Saturday. I mean, it's gonna be crazy. I mean, we have got. We're cramming in a lot of games. So actually, go back 16th. So we play Southampton. Then 4 days later, we play Chelsea. Then 3 days after that, we play United.
This is it. At a point in time where you should really, it's at a point in time where, you're thinking, we only need to play once a week. You're playing 3 games in the space of 7-8 days.
So that's our catch-up period. So that's where we may well. These are sort of. That's why a game like now is so vital.
It's critical. To me, it's a critical game today.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very, very true. Right. Well, listen. That was episode 4 of ForMorSport. Obviously, our next show will be on Sunday, because we try to do a show Wednesday and Sunday. I'm going to get Chris to talk a little bit about. We are delving into the social world. So if you want to talk about what we've been doing, what you as the manager have been doing.
Whoa, steady on there, steady on. No,
as taking the lead in our social footprint, please
I wouldn't go there.
tell our perspective. I mean, I would say that if you look at the bottom of the screen, you can see there's a ticker. And that's basically telling us about our Twitter and our Instagram. But talk a little bit about that. What we're doing.
That's literally it. Listen, where we love to talk about football, as we've spoken about, as you highlighted from the outset, and we just want to have as much interaction with like-minded people as possible. So we have a Twitter account, we've got the YouTube channel, we've got our Instagram. For Instagram and Twitter, it is at ForMorSport. I'll let Johnny explain the name and the reasoning behind it. He does it so eloquently. But at ForMorSport, all one word, on both Twitter and Instagram. We want people to just get involved as much as possible, as much interaction as possible. But to be honest, it's all about the content that we're putting on the YouTube channel. As much support as you can give. Like, subscribe, share. If you've got subjects you want us to talk about, if you want to come in and talk about it, listen, the DMs are open. Speak to us. Speak to us. Get involved. We love to talk about football, but at the end of the day, if you love to do it and you don't have a platform, come and talk to us. We're not going to bite. You know what I mean? And it'd be good to have rival fans and their perspectives on how their teams are going as well, because at the moment we've been quite Liverpool, Arsenal heavy. I'd love to hear from someone who supports, I don't know, Leeds, West Ham, Chelsea, just to get a different perspective on a different part of the league, maybe, or how they see, especially Chelsea at this point in time. It'd be great to know what they think. We were talking about it as Arsenal and Liverpool fans on the weekend, but actually, when you read what's going on, they could become they could get a super consortium from the news today, like all of the bidders coming in together. That's a nonsense. But I don't know. Anyone who wants to get involved, feel free.
So we do have, obviously, I've put our Twitter feed on the screen. I can see there that the Twitter manager has put to be confirmed our YouTube channel.
Oh, naughty.
So you are going to update that. But obviously, this is all new to us. And we've also got an Instagram, and I'll put that up on there as well. See if I can click onto that.
There's been lots of stories. We throw polls up there as well. Love to get your views. Like I said, DMs are open. Oh,
I see. It's for information. Okay. Yeah. So as you can see on the screen there, we have a ForMorSport Twitter page. So by all means, please engage with us on there. And if you're wondering, you're probably thinking, why have they spelled it like that? Let me quickly explain. It's both of our last names. It's the first three letters of my last name and the first three letters of Chris's last name. And we've put them together because, amazingly, that's what it is. And that's ForMorSport. It's me and Chris. That's us together. And that's how we create our, this is our brand. If you like what you see, please hit the subscribe button. Hit the thumbs up, definitely. Engage with us in the chat. Please have a chat. Talk with us. And as we said, link with us on Instagram and also on Twitter. And we will see you all again on Sunday, when either I'll be crying about our or smiling, depending on results that happen later on this evening. But always, guys, be safe. Do you have any concluding comments, my man? Anything you want to say before we go?
Once again, another great episode, my brother. Really enjoy speaking all things football. We say all things. We know that we haven't spoken about the bottom of the league. It's in the pipeline. I definitely want to get those Everton fixtures up on the screen, because when I saw them, I was like, wow, there's a real possibility they could go down. I'd love to hear people's thoughts. I'd love to hear people's thoughts on that. Listen, if you want us to look at a different league, if there's, I don't know, the El Clasico's coming up this weekend, I believe.
Maybe there'll be a segment for that, because
so we will do
Real. Yours is Barcelona, mine's Real.
Yes, that's right.
But Barcelona have they've definitely turned it around, and they are playing
They
so
ain't there yet. They ain't there yet.
but they're
And
doing better than what they were, because obviously there was a period in the season when it looked like they were just failing terribly.
yeah,
But now
it's
look
true.
at them.
It's true.
But Real
It's true.
Madrid
And
are flying.
and we do keep an eye on the WSL as well.
Yes,
Like we definitely keep an eye on the WSL.
That's another topic we should probably do.
Yeah. We talk. We got to talk on that as well.
Okay.
So anything like that, anything that people are into from a football perspective, doesn't matter what it is. We're here to be educated as well. We want this to be a show for people like us. So if you like football and you want to speak on all things football, you know where we are. Like, click the like button, subscribe,
join us. And this is our new home. You know, this is our channel. So thank you so much, guys, for checking us out. We hope you liked what you see. We hope that we weren't talking too much rubbish, and it was enjoyable enough. And you'll come and tune in with us again the next time we are here. So as always, take care, be safe, and until the next time, ForMorSport is signing out. Peace.
Take care, people.